sports talk monster with you anywhere you go. Available for Android and iPhone.
Use it anywhere or any place.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Possible thunderstorms and some clouds the remainder of the day with a wind coming out of the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour and 88. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, high around 86 and some sun throughout the day with a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Bringing you the world's #1 auto brand is a lot of fun. Camrys and Tacomas, Land Cruisers and Grand Highlanders. Toyotas are just built to be better.
And that's exactly how we built Panama City Toyota, to give you a better experience.
Where your needs always come first. Where you can relax with a great cup of coffee or browse the Heritage Collection. While we help you add the perfect vehicle to your collection. Come see us today at Panama City Toyota.
Looking for the most romantic night out in Panama City? Ferrucci Ristorante is your destination for authentic Italian cuisine and unforgettable moments. The candlelight, the wine, the homemade pasta. It's like a little slice of Italy. From handcrafted sauces to centuries-old recipes, Ferrucci brings true Italian flavor to every plate. It's where love stories begin and anniversaries are celebrated. To reserve your table, call 850-913-9131. Ferrucci Ristorante, Panama City's most romantic escape.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Scorpion TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch 400 local network channels from Panama City and most markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. It's more than sports. Scorpion TV offers premium movie channels like HBO, Cinemax, Stars, 200-plus entertainment and news networks, or watch thousands of movies on demand, all for just $45 a month when you use the ESPN NW promo code at checkout. Watch on up to 5 devices at the same time. Perfect for sharing with family and friends. Scorpion TV gives you everything you want for less. Cut the cord, not the fun. To score Scorpion TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click on the Scorpion TV logo. Don't forget our promo code ESPN NW.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. And now, the Gulf Coast's newest sports talk host.
Hey, there's the new guy.
Paul Wilson.
I'm sick and tired of carrying all the weight.
Paul is your pipeline to the heart of the action. Hot takes, big reactions, and your calls are incoming.
The product on the field is pathetic.
The Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Monday. You are listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's so good to have everybody here with me today. We are excited. It's Monday. We're pumped up. And we're just so excited about all the stuff that we've got going on today. Don't forget to call in, text in on the Red 70s phone line, 850-215-6290. As always on Monday, we got Coach Brian Haddett in the building. We've got LSU Jeff wearing his Bobby Boucher foosball shirt on today. Glad he don't have the ugly orange.
Or that Ole Miss shirt.
Or the Ole Miss shirt. And then also in the glass bubble, we've got Jimmy Jam doing the ones and the twos, and we're pumped about it. We are pumped about it and always want to be a gentleman, always want to do something awesome. Here we go.
Turn it up. Hit the line and choke the ball. Cross the goal before you fall. Oh, I know the song. I just hadn't had to hear it much lately.
This is the Mississippi State fighting song.
The undefeated Mississippi
sir.
State University. Thank you very much.
Yes, it was not planned. This was just a surprise for Coach Brian Haddett. Big Mississippi State win over the weekend. The Bulldogs showed up, they showed out, and they are getting some love today. Good to have you with us today, Brian. How are you feeling?
I love the win. We're still not very good. We're not. I mean, I got a funny story about the game, actually. So I was working in Birmingham over the weekend. I was driving back Saturday night. So I was aware when they were up 17-0 and all like this. I was actually talking to a buddy. I said, I've seen this movie before. And I said, we're going to lose 41-17, book it. So anyway, I get home. It's 17-10. I get to see Arizona State score on fourth down to tie it up, whatever. And then I saw the stand at the goal line where they did hold them out of the end zone, from the 2 consecutive plays, which was big because I really thought Arizona State was going to punch it in. And they kicked the field goal, went up, and I was like, well, I've seen this too many times. I'm not watching the rest of this. I turned it off and went to sleep. I missed it. I missed it. Next morning, I had texts galore, obviously, but I could not believe that I turned that off. But, I mean, it was great. Honestly, here's the thing. It's not a very talented football team top to bottom. There's a couple of really good players. They have a couple of good corners.
Yep.
The tight end's great. Now, Arizona State definitely focused on him to their detriment because Arizona State's secondary is awful.
Yeah, they're not good at all.
I mean, State's wide receivers aren't great, but they were wide open.
Yep.
And schemes just messed them up. But I'm still worried about State on the lines. And, Arizona State made a lot of nice changes at halftime and things like this, but they never got their secondary right. And here's what I like about the coaching staff. Look, we don't have the level of players a lot of teams in the conference do, certainly not the depth of them. Mm-hmm. But a really well-coached team will take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. They almost gave this one away, but they had an opportunity and they took it. And so that's what you're going to have to do when you don't have the talent of others. You don't have the size of others. So I love that for this team. I think it's a huge win. I think it probably says more about Arizona State than Mississippi State, but hey, I'll take it. 2-0, baby.
That's right.
But didn't y'all lose by 1 point last year?
Last year was a totally different setup, though. Remember, that was a team at Arizona State that was coming off a horrendous year and had not found themselves yet. Like, Scatabo wasn't Scatabo yet.
Okay.
And State was a little better roster last year to start the season out there.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I think so.
You think the State roster was better last year?
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely do.
Wow.
Yeah. Talent-wise, yes.
So you think this...
But it was for a different scheme.
Yeah.
I do think so.
Yeah, they made some changes over the way. And then the thing is that you got to understand when you bring in a quarterback that has had success, and if you look at what he did in 22, he had 2,700 yards passing, 18 touchdowns. Blake Shapins, who we're talking about, 2023, 2,100 yards passing, 13 touchdowns. Again,
what was the interceptions on 13?
It was like 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty high.
I'll be honest, I'm not a huge Shapin fan.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's going to be, but there is something to say about a 24-year-old college quarterback.
Sure.
That's the thing. And that's what you get when you have these older guys. You have a little bit more maturity. You have a little bit, more of analytical thinking and making more, cerebral decisions. I think that's really where, when you've got these teams that have some talent, and like you said, it's not the talent that you would think, but when you look at them, the wide receivers were way more talented as far as being athletically, and they understood and they had confidence. And I think that's what happened. The confidence started building at the half.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, you get out 17-0, you're going to build confidence. But again, they took advantage of their opportunities, which I thought was great because Arizona State keyed in on Traore, who I think is State's best player in my mind.
Yeah.
And they keyed in on him, which allowed these guys to step up. And a lot of times people will not step up.
Yes.
When calls made, the receivers stepped up. And that's good for them because, I was a little bit worried about that. Now, again, I'm not expecting us to run the table here, but I do think that's a good sign of a team early that takes advantage of opportunities that happen to present themselves.
Yeah.
So you have Alcorn State next.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll 3-0.
We're going to say 3-0.
Yeah.
I don't take anything for granted at Mississippi State.
Well, here's the thing. Under normal circumstances, I would say 4-0. But Northern Illinois is kind of a wild card.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't know what you're going to do with them.
You don't they used to dominate the MAC.
And then it gets
year
ugly.
after year after year. But they haven't been like that for 10 years.
And State's SEC schedule's pretty ugly this year.
Right behind it, ain't nothing but SEC.
Yeah.
8 in a row. And, you look at Arkansas or Missouri or somebody like that, and you're like hoping that you get your fifth win if you start out 4-0.
Yeah,
I will say this. Arkansas, LSU owned us every year. Even when we were better than LSU beat us every year.
Yeah.
Arkansas was funny about they would beat us in years they had no business doing it. It was just, it seemed like when we had everything rolling, Arkansas would beat us out of nowhere. It used to drive me crazy.
So here's where it gets a little weird because, Missouri being in that East Division for so long, LSU people don't even know.
That's true.
Do we own Missouri? We probably do if you looked at the numbers, but we don't even know because we have only played them like 3 times in
I can tell you
how many years? 13 years?
Nobody wants to go there in November. I can tell you that.
Oh, because
that is a tough place to play in the cold.
Yeah, it kind of chills up there. But let's switch over to the other side of the ball because I think you hit a good point. We've been talking about it in some of the other days about the AP poll and how they're giving much love to Arizona State, how they're giving Sam Leavitt a big push. I mean, he's not a top 5, push for Heisman or anything like that, but he's been in the conversations around the whole college football time before the season started about possibility of being one of the top quarterbacks taken in the draft. And see, that's where I disagreed with them. I watched them a pretty good bit last year, and without having Scatterbo, which means a running game, that doesn't open up. If you don't have a good running game, you don't open up a good passing game with guys that aren't who you think they are.
It just shows how much of a folly polls are. I mean, they always have been. It's always hard to know.
It's tough.
But in this day and age where you're turning over so much every year, it seems like anybody who's got a returning quarterback default goes up 10 positions. And I get that because that's one of the only things you can measure from one year to the next. Yeah, Scatterbo's gone. Leavitt was returning, so I'm sure they thought, all right, playoff team, good coach, quarterback's back. Why not put them 12?
And the epitome of that is Florida State.
Sure,
talking about
absolutely
turnover,
right.
Just because my boss was like, I don't want to argue with my boss. Who wants to argue with the boss?
Right, true.
So my boss, he defends the Seminoles quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it or anything like that, but like he comes up to me and he wants to talk sports, and it's always, him defending like Seminoles and stuff like that. I'm like, well, I wish they would just not talk bad about the Gators because 3 games ago they got trounced by the Gators.
Yeah.
Right.
And
exactly.
2-10, you're defending. You're 2-0, big whoop-de-doo, and there's a lot of Seminoles. Apparently my algorithm gets nothing from Arizona State or Leavitt, but I get Seminole stuff like crazy. Just moving here.
Yeah.
I think I might have, I don't even know if, I think I do have one Seminole friend.
Every time your phone gets close to another phone, that's a Seminole fan.
Yeah,
that's
like
what you're
rubbing
getting.
off on.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. But when you go back to look at Sam Leavitt's numbers, his numbers was horrible. 10 for 22, 82 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions.
It was a bad plan. I will say this, State has 2 pretty good corners. They do. And it's hard because it's going to get lost in the fact that their line is so bad that if these quarterbacks have enough time, I don't care how good a corner you are. The guy who knows where he's going has an advantage over the guy who doesn't.
Yeah.
So is it speed? Is it cover skills? It's size?
They
What are we
stay in
talking
phase really well. Size is okay, but they've got pretty good ball skills, actually.
Okay.
You know, they're not going to be all SEC first team, but I think they're underrated.
Yeah.
Based on what I've seen these first two games, I think they're not bad.
If you look at Mississippi,
but the spine of the defense is a little bit weak, and that's going to be a problem for anybody who's got any kind of power running game.
But what
is going to hurt Mississippi
what is
State.
everything about Mississippi State? They're going to be athletic. They're going to be athletic, and that's what you're going to get out of the Mississippi teams most of the time.
So with Drinkowitz elevating Missouri's program, Beamer got South Carolina up, and Diego, we're going to blame it on him, that got Vandy up. Was everybody picking Mississippi State 16th or 15th?
I think some people had. Well, it was definitely one of three teams. It was Mississippi State, Kentucky, or Vanderbilt. It was definitely one of those three. And
See, I wouldn't have thought
most
Vandy.
people had Mississippi State at 16. And look, I was one of them.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Vanderbilt would struggle a little more this year. I thought they caught a lot of people unaware last year, and they may still. I don't know.
Look, I would have put money against Kentucky, against Ole Miss. But
Kentucky always plays Ole Miss.
I know you're going to talk about Rebels later, so
Yeah, we're going to have a big discussion with Steve
They
Barnes
always
about
play
it.
Ole Miss.
But Kentucky holding them to, and I know they're down by 10 at a couple of points, but only losing by 7 to Ole Miss is like almost like a win.
But it's one of those anomalies, and it's unexplainable other than we've all seen it. There are teams that for some reason, all the players are different, but Kentucky always plays Ole Miss tough. It makes no sense. But
Really?
every year.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat them last year. Mm-hmm. They weren't any good last year.
And when you look at it, and you could see the passion in the fans at Mississippi State, though, it was one of those things that it doesn't happen often. And so with the way they responded, it kind of breathed life back into that program.
So the funny thing is, in a way, until about 3 years ago, I would say the people who were at Mississippi State were a little overly spoiled. Because of the success of, when Mullen got them to number 1 and
Leach.
And then, Leach and I mean, everybody bangs on Joe Moorhead. Joe Moorhead had a winning record and went to 2 bowl games.
Right.
He had essentially the same record as Leach and Mullen, but nobody liked him.
Oh.
So anyway, but yeah, they had this run of success. I remember the years where one year we go 8-3, the next year we go 2-9. So it was all over the place. But I think the last couple of years have been so bad. You could tell everybody in that stadium was excited because all they've heard all year is Mississippi State's the worst team in the SEC.
Right.
And they probably were.
They have been, yeah.
And
Now-
so, yeah, it was a great thing for the fans, for sure.
Did I share with you Christopher Walken doing the thing up on the Jumbotron in Mississippi State?
Yeah.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So
I used to run that Jumbotron.
Oh,
actually.
yeah?
The first year we had
So
it.
you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that specific
So it's
thing.
the Saturday Night Live skit where
Yeah,
it says,
the
I need
cowbell
more
thing.
cowbells. Yeah.
Oh, I
And
get
then man, the crowd went nuts with the cowbells.
All I know is I left the year before the Who Let the Dogs Out song came out, and I'm so glad.
You're dating
the
yourself.
State ran that into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Well, when you look at it, my son plays for the University of Kentucky's marching band. He did. He doesn't this year. He's a senior this year. And he went down to Stark Vegas and was at that stadium. And he just said, Dad, it's a different level. When those bells start to ring,
What's loud?
It's a different sound. He's been to the Swamp. He's been to Athens. He's been to all the big places. And he said Mississippi State, with all those bells, is just absolutely chaos, and that's really what happens. And you get a team that doesn't have a 17-point lead, then the bells, they still ring, but they're not as enthusiastic. But they got 17-0 going into half.
Look, it's loud, incredibly loud. It's not electric. It's not big game feel like you'll get in Death Valley at night, or the running through the T, as much as I hate that.
Yeah.
But there are things that are more electric. There are venues that are more conducive to that, just that feeling of anticipation. But for sheer volume, the bells are pretty tough. I mean, they really are.
So do y'all fit 60,000?
About that. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I was there, it was 40,000. We had 2 open end, and it still got loud. I don't know the acoustics of it. It was amazing. But
See, I think the sheer numbers of LSU plus the alcohol.
oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And it's the environment in general. there's an anticipation that something amazing is going to happen in that stadium.
The trust. They have trust. Even when we had the Curly Hallman years when I was there, it was the trust that we're going to do something. And we beat Bama one time, and we're like, yes.
There are definitely more electric atmospheres, but just for sheer volume, those cowbells carry a punch.
Yeah. Now, we talked about Mississippi State a little bit into the year, and it's just like everything else. We've got a Facebook listener. He was like, who cares about Mississippi State? And obviously he didn't know that that's where you graduated. That's where we went. And we talk about Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, all of that throughout the whole week. So it's no big deal.
Everybody but Missouri.
Yeah. But when we talk about it, we're SEC fans. Yeah. We're real fans.
I don't think there were a few people who picked Mississippi State, but I don't think if anyone had to lay money down.
No. Right.
It was a surprising thing, and it's good for the conference.
Yeah,
so.
You know who else is good for? Jeff Levy, because how do you feel about him as far as, do you think he's righting the ship, or
I don't know.
Really know?
You can't. It's almost like he's in year one, because last year was such an anomaly. Just the whole thing after Leach passed. And then, our defensive coordinator I don't think ever wanted to be a head coach, but he kind of felt like he had to.
Yeah.
It's a totally different setup. And Levy's coming into a whole different wholesale change. So I don't know. Like I said, the fact that they took advantage of an opportunity makes me feel good. But do I think he's ever going to be able to consistently get the type of players that he needs to compete year in, year out? No, I don't. But nobody has been able to do that. Mullen did. There's a lot of people who view Mullen a little bit better than he should have been at Mississippi State based on his record, but he got him to number one. And the thing Mullen did really well, and this is why they hated him at Florida, he recruited a lot of 3-star players and tried to make them better. At Florida, you can't do that.
No,
you need to be recruiting 4- and 5-star players. At Mississippi State, you could. And he did that pretty well, and he had a couple years that were good. The funny thing is, Jackie Sherrill had a better record than Dan Mullen ever had. But because Alabama had gone undefeated that year, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. Jackie Sherrill took Mississippi State to the SEC championship game and was leading Tennessee in the fourth quarter the year they won the national championship. Nobody remembers that stuff.
Wow.
So they've had moments, but consistently it's very tough to deliver at State.
And that's the big thing. And that's where the NIL, some things you kind of hope happens where you see more of the parity and you see, but then you don't know, like you said in the beginning, we don't really know if Arizona State is just not very good or if Mississippi State is okay.
I can tell you for 100% their secondary is terrible.
Yeah. Well, it got exposed for sure.
Yeah.
So would you place them in 5th in the Big 12? And there's a lot of teams in the Big 12. It's not just 12 teams.
Right. No, I know. I'm at this point, I think the Big 12 has to be the weakest of all of them.
Well,
of the major 4. So
they were doing okay after week 1. But this week 2,
it kind of destroyed them.
It wasn't a good week.
It was a horrible week for them.
I really thought
Iowa State's the only one really kind of holding up the whole
thing.
The upset of Baylor over SMU.
Kansas State might have a FSU season coming ahead of them. They just look shell-shocked. I really thought Kansas was going to get Missouri, and they had a chance to, and Missouri just put their foot down late. But, Big 12's struggling.
Yeah, they're going to be struggling. So I don't really know, and at this point, I really don't think it's going to matter. I don't think anybody outside of, like you said, Iowa State is looking and good.
And
Utah's still there, but they probably don't they have to play? I think so.
I hope they have to play.
But when they play, I think they'll just get one team out of there. I don't believe they'll have 2 in the playoff at all, unless there's some kind of.
It's like last year where SMU was ruling and Miami was ruling the ACC, and then once Miami dropped out, Clemson got that automatic bid, and that's the only reason why the ACC had 2 last year.
Yeah,
I can tell you another thing. I think we may have seen the group of 5 entrant into the playoffs already.
Wait, what's that?
South Florida.
Oh, yeah. That's the only one, though, because Liberty's lost, James Madison's lost, and Boise State's lost. We're really struggling.
The other one that's out there, Florida fans, this is just as bad, UNLV. You know their head coach is?
I know.
Dan Mullen.
But did you watch them first week?
They're not great. Their schedule is no good. And here's the thing with South Florida. So they have the worst first 3 game schedule of anybody in the country.
Yeah.
After Miami, it is you don't want to take any game for granted, it's a cakewalk.
Wait, what is this?
South Florida's schedule.
Oh, yeah.
They started Boise State, Florida, and Miami. And don't count them out against Miami.
No, I'm not.
But even if they lose, I think they run the table.
Yeah.
And if they're 11-1 with a win over Florida,
or 12-1 with the conference
and a Boise
championship.
State,
yeah,
they could easily. So if they lose to Miami, and of course they go the 8-0 with the American, they change the. I don't know if you know they've changed the conference name now.
Yeah, they do.
So it's American Conference. Sounds stupid, but they go 8-0. Then they're in the conference championship. Who they play? Memphis, Tulane.
Tulane's
I don't think it's
football
Army
team.
because Army's gone.
I'm just
much.
telling you, we may have seen the Group of 5 entrant.
Yeah.
There's a good chance because I know Big 12. If they're just going to have one team, and then you never know about the ACC, and then you still got to look at the SEC. How good are the top teams that we've always seen? So they're going to. I think the ACC is going to get a little bit of what the SEC has, which means they're going to chomp each other up during the regular season.
So you know the stipulation on the Group of 5, right?
Yeah,
you have to be ranked.
Yeah, you have to.
But here's the thing: they're ranked now. Here's who they have after Miami: South Carolina State, Charlotte. North Texas, Florida Atlantic, Memphis. That'll be a tough game.
Memphis.
UTSA.
That's not bad.
They're not. This isn't.
They're not like it used to be.
No.
2 years
Navy,
ago.
who back and forth.
Yeah.
UAB, who's not what they were.
No.
And then Rice.
Yeah. So they're not good.
So no Tulane. So basically, you
Just
got
Memphis.
You got 3. It's Memphis and Navy, and then your third fiddle is UTSA if they could pull it off because they have pulled off upsets in the past.
Yeah, but if they handle their business with Miami, that's going to get them strength of schedule.
Oh, my God.
If they only throw, a 7-point, a 3-point, something like that against Miami where they lose by 7 or 3, they're going to keep their top 25 ranking, and they'll run through their schedule like Brian's saying, and it should be no problem for them.
Who would have thought in week 3 we'd be talking about South Florida?
Nobody.
Like this?
Nobody.
I didn't.
Nobody, for sure. Well, when we come back, we've got a little bit of surprise for you. We've got somebody down in South Florida. We're going to talk some good old Jacksonville talk about. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Call in now.
This is Touchstone Service.
The Red 70s studio line is open.
Demonstrate how to make a call with your dial telephone.
850-215-6290. It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. More opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Possible thunderstorms and some clouds the remainder of the day with a wind coming out of the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour and 88. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, a high around 86 and some sun throughout the day with a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
CBC Construction is looking for a few good men. At CBC Construction, our greatest strength lies within our talented team. Join us and be a part of a dynamic company that values its people. We offer a tremendous opportunity to create a future for your family and the Florida Panhandle. CBC Construction is now hiring. Call us at 850-740-3815 or visit cbcconstruction.com to learn more. CBC Construction. Be part of a winning team.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party. No, you see, you get $150 in bonus bets after your first $5 bet hits.
Did somebody say hit?
Whoa, Ray Lewis? We were just saying if your bet hits.
Huh? You know I love a good form tackle.
We know, Ray. We know.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 and up and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thursday Night Football is back.
To the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass.
It's the Washington Commanders at the Green Bay Packers. We'll have coverage starting Thursday at 6:30 from Lambeau Field. Kickoff at 7:15 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast.
Packers on the board again.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
You found us inside the CBC Construction Studios. Can you take the hits? Here comes the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Guys, I am just happy that we got to talk about Mississippi State football. It's something that don't normally happen, and with Brian being here, it just made me happy. And Brian, I told him, I said, I got a surprise for you when we get here, and he was like, if you're going to do something with Tennessee, I'm leaving immediately. And so I said, no, it isn't a practical joke this time, but it's definitely something good. So positive for the good old Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Didn't Mississippi State have the same record as Florida State last year?
I think so.
Well,
I'm just saying.
And to anybody who comments on that, I just say, yo mama.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm kidding. I understand it.
Yeah, it's all good. But, hey, we're excited. We've got on the phone line the Jacksonville Jaguars, what I like to call super fan, super guy, Mr. Eric Dunn. Eric, are you with me, my friend?
Yes, sir. I'm here. What's up?
Oh, man, so good to have you on the show with us today. And we are here to talk about those Jacksonville Jaguars. Sunshine and the boys took care of business on Sunday. And, Eric, I just want to know, are you excited, man? Are you excited? Are you pumped up?
Hell yeah. This was a must-win game, in my opinion, because all the talk is about the next 4 or 5 games or so, because the season's kind of starts rough. But then we got Panthers week 1 at home. So when I saw that on the schedule, I was like, okay, this is a tone-setting game. All the off-season moves, we got to come out here in front of the home crowd, and we got to take care of the Panthers, because that's what's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. So coming out, beating them by double digits like we did, it's exactly what we needed to start the season, and it's right where we needed to be for 2025.
So you got the offensive guy, the guru, the man that really made Will Levis at Kentucky be drafted. He manipulated the offense at the University of Kentucky. Liam Cohen did, so much so that the Tennessee Titans took Will Levis. I was in Kentucky at this time when I was watching him, and I told my wife several times, Liam Cohen is a great coordinator, and he's making Will Levis look way better. And so how do you feel about Coach Cohen so far, about seeing how he plays and seeing some of the preseason stuff of what he's doing with the Jags?
Right. So we didn't get a real good look. Well, in my opinion, I don't feel like I get a really good look at what's going to happen during the season, during the preseason, because they hide a lot of things. But coming into this game, I felt really confident about Liam Cohen coaching this team, which, it's only week 1. Let me not get ahead of myself, but so far, so good. But I love what the Jags social media team and the media team's doing behind the scenes, like to the point, we used to look forward to Hard Knocks and stuff like that, but now we don't even need it, because if you just go on the Jaguars YouTube, you can see all that goes on between the coaches and the players and the behind the scenes and all of that. So I really got a glimpse at Coach Cohen as a human and a leader in one of the last Jaguars hunt videos. So after I watched that, I was like, okay, these guys are locked in. They're listening to Cohen, and his energy is there, and he's excited to be here. So going into week 1, I was not worried at all about how he was going to handle this game against the Panthers, and I'm glad I was right, put it on the field, and I'm looking forward to what he hasn't unleashed yet on teams that are better in the NFL, that'll have better defenses, or how we're going to play when we're down, because we played up the whole game the whole time. So there's all these different situations in football that are going to happen this season, and we haven't seen them yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Coach Cohen can handle that going forward. But I believe in him for sure.
Yeah, that's good. And having someone like Trevor Lawrence, the talk around, the town as far as like the NFL towns, this was the year like he's got to put up. You got several quarterbacks that have been in systems now, and obviously with a new coach, new scheme, all that coming in, you have that coming in with Trevor Lawrence. Now, it was looking, not very good. He's not looked good in times, and so there's been a lot of chatter as far as what I've been seeing online about him. And so, do you feel like Trevor Lawrence this year, seeing this one game, and I don't want to get the horses before the cart, but you can tell when somebody sees it differently when you're on the field. And so do you feel like Trevor's going to be able to, do a little different this time?
That's what we're all trying to figure out, huh?
That's right.
So I really like, so the thing about Coach Cohen being here is that he's here and is going to elevate all levels of the team, whether that's the run game, the offensive line, the defense, making sure the offense gets back on the field, special teams, all of that. So with that being said, the run game was so efficient in week 1 that Trevor didn't even have to do much. I had a friend text me after the game and said, oh, Daniel Jones can throw 200-plus yards, but Trevor can't. And I was like, we didn't need Trevor to throw 200 yards in week 1. Some games we're going to need 300 yards from Trevor, but we didn't need that week 1. So I'm not looking at any bad play that Trevor did this game and giving him any sort of, oh, this isn't the guy we're looking for this season, because he played good enough to where we didn't have to worry about the Panthers coming back on us.
Yeah, and if you look at when he was at Clemson, Dabo made him run a lot. There was a lot of the RPO stuff that he would tuck it in Travis's, Travis Etienne, who you're talking about, had a great game. But, getting him in the RPO and kind of trying to see it. And don't forget, and I know you haven't, but he's the same guy that helped Baker down in Tampa, and I think he's going to really help him, because if you look at what Sunshine's numbers were, they wasn't great. He was 19 of 31, 178 yards passing, 1 touchdown. He did have the 1 interception. But getting back to what you said, Travis Etienne running the football, 16 carries, 143 yards. One thing about him, though, and he made mention to this in the interview that I listened to, he broke that one really long run, but he ended up getting caught. He said, man, I got to get faster. He gets through those holes good, but he's a little slow when he gets out in the open field.
Yeah, I was actually very impressed with Etienne's ability to cut through the holes and cut back and make the right decisions to turn upfield. Because, as fans, we get really frustrated with players that are running sideline to sideline instead of north and south. So I was really happy to see that from Travis. And going back to what you said about Trevor running the ball, that goes back to me saying about the situation. When the situation comes up, Trevor is going to tuck that thing and run it when he has to, because we've seen him do it before. So I'm really looking forward to seeing when we're down. Maybe it happens in week 2 with the Bengals' high-powered offense, and we're down maybe 3 scores, and we need to go down there and get a field goal or score again. Trevor's going to have to put the offense on his back, and he's going to have to use his legs. So that's going to come up, and we're going to have more analysis of Trevor in year 5 this season. So I don't want anybody to worry about Trevor right now. Forget the interception. It was a great defensive play by Horn. I know we all wanted to see that Trevor to Travis Hunter highlight. We're going to get it eventually because he was open on that play. But it was just a great defensive play there, but we're going to get it. So everybody just has to settle down. Season's just getting started. We got the win at home, and we got to keep this thing going.
You know what I hate is that number 300. Because, they hold people to this standard that they have to get 300. But playing at the Bengals this weekend, if Trevor throws for 300, it means they're probably behind in the game.
Yeah.
And he can win with 270 yards, Just move the ball, don't turn over the ball. I mean, this is a winnable game this weekend on the road. And then that sets him up for week 3 playing at home against the Houston Texans. And that's a majorly huge game right there.
I don't like to compare, past games that we've had with other teams, but when we played the Bengals in Cincinnati, when we had Urban Meyer as coach, we had a 14-0 lead. That's all I'm saying. And the Bengals still have the same quarterback. They don't have Joe Mixon anymore, but they still have Jamar Chase. We still have Trevor Lawrence. So the Bengals don't really scare me. The only person on the Bengals that scares me is Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Like, if we can't stop him, because Jamar Chase can single-handedly win a game. We've seen him get 200-plus yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Like, he's crazy. But the Bengals, they don't have the best O-line, and they haven't had the best O-line ever. It goes back to the drafts when they would have to choose between Penei Sewell. But I saw a clip where Myles Garrett laid Burrow out because he came free rush through the hole. So I'm hoping Josh Hines-Allen can get a few of those on Sunday. But as long as we get pressure on Burrow, if this D-line can get pressure on Burrow, then I'm not worried at all about beating the Bengals, because I think this offense with Cohen is going to be able to move the ball on the Bengals. It's just going to be, can we stop them?
Yeah, and the thing is that something that was kind of remarkable for the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend is the fact that they didn't have any sacks. And that's a big deal, because if you remember last year and the years before, Lawrence was getting hit a lot. And that's the thing you don't want. Obviously, he's big, he can handle some of it, but man, you don't want your quarterback getting hit and hit often, because, it kind of makes him get rid of it sooner than he should, or, maybe quick throwing and all that kind of stuff. So, that was the thing. I think everybody's attention is on Travis Hunter and him playing both ways and being able to be open. And it just seems like with having the other Brian there at the wide receiver position, it really helps to alleviate him to feel like, hey, I've got to go out every single play and make some kind of acrobatic catch. And I think what you'll see is Travis Hunter will start finding his niche as well and getting in there and making some plays, because he did have some catches and he looked good. And I think, for the fans, I think that's exactly what the Jaguars needed, because I saw a film on him afterwards. He was out there signing jerseys after the game's over, in which that's kind of good. He's trying to bring that Jacksonville Jaguar brand all the way up in the NFL, and that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, definitely. And BTJ and Trevor didn't even have a connection really week 1, so they still have yet to be unleashed this season. But that could stem from last year with Trevor being out half the season and him having to catch balls from Mac Jones. But going back to the Jags not giving up any sacks, I saw a stat, don't know the source, but Trevor Lawrence was actually the least pressured QB in week 1. And Liam Cohen said in his interview that Carolina doesn't have a history of pressure or blitzing a lot. So maybe we got a gift there by the O-line. They got a little gift week 1. So maybe they'll have to block Trey Hendrickson this Sunday. So we'll see what they can do. And Hubbard, I think there's a guy on the other side.
Yeah, so Hendrickson's coming for sure. That's going to happen. He's going to be there. He's going to, but I think, again, it'll be good. We're talking with Eric Dunn, super fan, analyst for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when you look at the defense, we've talked a lot about the offense, but the defense also kept Bryce Young, not very happy back in the backfield. Picked him off twice. Pretty good. Like you said, Josh Hines. Allen over there, former Kentucky guy, was pretty impactful. And he's a guy that's so athletic and long that he's going to require you to double him. He's going to require you to bring that tight end in and chip him, that kind of stuff, because the defense is looking pretty good.
Yeah, the defense, one thing I really liked about the defense is that they made really good effort plays on those interceptions, because both of them were off of tips. So, and they weren't easy tips either. It wasn't like the ball went way up in the air. They came off and kind of fell awkwardly, and the guys had to make some plays. I know Jordan Lewis grabbed one with one hand, and then the other one was off. I think Eric Murray deflected it, and it went up, and I think it was Foye who grabbed it before falling to the ground. So a lot of effort was shown, which, last season you just couldn't see any energy given by this team or in the press conferences by Doug. But even though they say we lost the most possession games, it just felt like the energy in the locker room was dead last season. But seeing these boys fly around the field yesterday just gave me hope for what the season can be, because we are in the AFC South. We're not in a tough division, and we saw how the Texans and the Titans looked yesterday. The Colts somehow managed to put up 30, and I don't think that'll continue. But I think the Jags are in a good spot to win the division this year, and a lot of fans are expecting that to happen, and we hope that this team can pull through with that.
Now, let's talk about a picture I saw of you. Now, this is gonna. I need to know. You got to let me know. You got to give me some insight. So I'm looking through the social media stuff, and I see some of the stuff that you're putting out there. Pretty cool stuff. I would like to say, but how in the world are you in the stadium with nobody else in there, swimming, putting your feet in the Duval pool? What is going on, man? How did you get that access?
So that was actually an old photo, and I was doing a branded activation with DJ Chark and Tide. So I was doing a little countdown to the kickoff on my page. So I was just trying to find old photos and just Jags content to post. So I didn't mean to cause up any confusion or anything like that. I was just looking for photos to post. But yes, back in 2021, I think it was. I did a few working gigs with the Jags contractually, so that was a photo from when I interviewed DJ Chark, and I took a photo up by the pools and had the Tide Pods with me because we were doing a segment sponsored by Tide. So that's the backstory for that.
There you go.
Didn't mean to confuse anyone, but yes, that was 4 years old.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question about the Tide Pods. I wasn't sure if, and with you saying it back that it was that long ago, that was when the kids were eating those things. So I hope you wasn't being a part of that part. But also, we're big Alabama fans here, or at least I am. I'm speaking for myself. But anytime I see the Tide, I'm always looking. But one of the big things about us being connected with you down there is the fact that our radio station, we actually send people to the Jacksonville Jaguars home games this year. So we will be sending some more this year down there. One of our winners won last week. He was there, and he's going to be calling in and telling us how much fun he had down there. Or over there. I'm sorry, I keep saying down there because, I've only been in this part of the country for a little over 2.5 years, so everything is down from where I was. But anyway,
right.
We just appreciate you. How can people find you online, with whatever you got going on? Give us a little bit of where people can find you at real quick, Eric.
Yeah, so you guys can find me on Facebook. It's just Eric Dunn. It's a verified Facebook page with 55K followers. Pretty hard to miss, honestly. And then I'm on Instagram at Eric V. Dunn with an underscore at the end, and Twitter the same, at Eric V. Dunn. So very easy to reach, or if you just Google Eric Dunn, all my social medias and my website should come up. So I am not a hard person to find online.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to have you with us today, and we'll be touching base with you as long as Sunshine and the boys keep winning. We'll hit you up some more during the football season and check in and see what you think about what's going on down there with the big old Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
All right,
One
man.
at a time.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Eric. We appreciate it. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL football, but we also have to get in some of this Major League Baseball. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get in the game. Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. A new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
When you bring your vehicle to Panama City Toyota for repairs or maintenance, you'll get the warmest welcome around.
That's because we see service differently.
It's not only an expert team that can help with everything, from simple adjustments to a new set of tires. It's also a team that values your time, so we make your experience as quick and comfortable as possible. Because we're committed to service that goes beyond. Only at Panama City Toyota.
When it comes to backyard dreams, trust the name that's been making waves for over 65 years. Cox Pools. Serving the entire Florida Panhandle, Cox Pools brings experience, innovation, and quality to every custom pool design. From luxurious spas to resort-style pools, no vision is too big. Make your backyard the place to be with Cox Pools. Cox Pools, 65 years strong and still making a splash. Visit coxpools.com or call 850-235-7957.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves always find the will to battle back, and they're looking to close the year out strong.
There it comes, and there it goes. Deep left field, to the wall, out of room, out of the ballpark.
Tonight, it's another big National League battle in Atlanta as the Braves get another series against the Chicago Cubs, this time live from Truist Park.
Braves pregame 6 o'clock, first pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Now, we're live and local inside the CBC Construction Studios. ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the new Sports Blitz. Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290. The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We're back. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here. Don't forget, you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. I know we're in the middle of football season, but we've got 19 games left for the Major League Baseball season and want to touch on that real quick because we've got to know. We got to know what's going on. There's baseball fans everywhere. I've come to realize that, you know what, we can't just focus on one thing, especially during this time. And, guys, when you look at it, you've got a lot of things going on in the baseball world. When you look at this American League wild card race, you've got a lot of teams fighting, and they are ready to go. And the thing is that you got to play now to stay for later. And when you have the Mariners, when you have the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Rangers, the Royals, even the Guardians, they're all within striking distance, and that's what's so crazy about this time. Brian, we always do it on Monday. Do you have the number for 300?
Yeah, we're down to 7.
We lost somebody.
We're down to 7. Judge, Wilson, Bichette, who's having a great year, by the way, quietly. Trey Turner, Jeremy Pena, Vladdy Jr., and George Springer. So 3 of the 7 guys hitting 300 are Blue Jays.
Yeah,
which might explain why they're first in the East.
That's right.
We are down to 7.
Oh, man, we've lost another one. Hopefully they can get that back up and going. But, man, let's look at it, and we've talked about it, and I just seem to think that the Royals are going to come back and do it, although they took it on the chin. They went 5-5 over their last 10, and then what was surprising is Wyatt Langford and those guys over there with the Texas Rangers, they're 7-3 within the last 10 games. So, you know, Jeff, you said early on, and you said from the time that we've talked about this, that you feel like that everybody that's in right now is going to stay in. Do you still feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No change in you on that.
No change, and it's funny because the names have changed. Because at first we were talking about Guardians slipping in, and then we were talking about Royals slipping in. Now we're talking about Rangers slipping in. And it's like, would you just pick one?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who are you telling me you're going to replace the Mariners? Or even at one point, we were even talking about the Yankees falling out, and there's no way that the Yankees are falling out now.
That's right.
I
love
wouldn't
it.
think so. And the Yankees and the Red Sox should both be locked in. So if you assume the division winners are going to stay Blue Jays, Tigers, Astros, and it's a bit of an assumption on the Astros, but right now the Mariners would hold the last wild card spot. One game behind them are the Rangers. One more game behind them are the Royals, and one more game behind them are the Guardians. And then one more game behind them are the Rays.
My thing's saying a game and a half.
Well, it could be. I'm not. I'm going off of wins really quick here, but yeah. So it's what I'm saying is it's very tight for that last spot. Right now, the Red Sox are 4 games clear of the Mariners.
Yeah.
So I think with 19 to go, it's doable for them to collapse. Yes. And look, as a Yankees fan, I would love it. But no, I think those 5 are pretty well locked in. But it could very well be any of those 4. My money's on the Mariners. I kind of like their setup this year. Not just because they're up a game. I just kind of like their setup. But there's no telling. When you're that close, when you got 4 teams essentially within 4 games of each other with 19 to go.
So who thinks that, so the 3 seeds, the Astros, as of right now, it's pretty much a lock on it. So the 6 seed, which is the last wild card, gets the Astros. Who's going to beat them?
It's probably going to be the Mariners that get the 6.
It just really depends. Because when you got 19, you look at what the Mariners have done. They've been 4-6. And so realistically, they need to be more of a 3-7 to lose down. Yeah. And you need those other teams to be, the 6-4 to 7-3.
Yeah, and that's why the Rangers are in play, because they are 7-3 over the last 10. Most everybody else is playing 500 ball, which makes sense because that's what their overall records are at. They're basically at 500.
What's interesting also is that, those, what do you call it? I guess 5 through whatever it is, 15 teams in each league, they all have losing road records.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 4 seed, the Cubs and the Yankees, both have road winning records.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's impressive.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying the Yankees are going to knock out the Red Sox because anything could happen because, it's Yankees-Red Sox.
Yeah.
It's the rivalry of baseball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what's good about it is that if it stays like it is, that's what you're going to get that first round, and it's going to be electrifying, and it's going to be crazy.
And you know what? The media... They hype it up more, but it is what it is. It is huge, and they make it even more colossal.
It's a big rivalry. It's not what it was 20 years ago, but who knows? Maybe we'll have another Don Zimmer moment.
But, how many times have they been a rival? It comes like every 10 years.
Well, I will say this. I think the Red Sox finally getting over the hill and winning a World Series somewhat.
Did they win 2?
Yeah. I think 3, actually. But it's somewhat softened the thing
key.
Because the Yankee, it's like everyone talked about. It's the biggest rivalry in baseball, but it was so one-sided.
Yeah.
And now, in a way, because it's more even, it doesn't seem as venomous as it was.
And that's the same way it happened with Alabama. And when Cam Newton finally won a championship at Auburn, it kind of gave them an extra win. It's like, hey, we can actually do this, and kind of broke the
I will say, though, it wasn't that far removed from Tommy Tuberville, putting a ring on his thumb over Alabama either. So, it wasn't that long, but yeah.
I think the NFL's missing a little bit of the whole rivalry thing. I don't know. You're a little bit younger than me, but back in the day.
And I'm a lot younger than you. Let's just keep saying that.
Raiders-Broncos.
Oh, yeah.
Was a mad, crazy.
Raiders-Chiefs, a big one, too.
Yeah. And the Browns, don't forget.
Actually, I remember the Broncos-Chiefs being pretty bad, too.
Yeah, the AFC West has some nasty rivalries for whatever reason,
Yeah, it was crazy because you had the Chiefs, Browns, the Raiders.
Yeah. Well, the Browns wouldn't have been on the
West. The Browns wasn't in there.
No.
But didn't you have the Chargers?
Chargers, Raiders, Chiefs, and Broncos.
And the 5th one, back when they switched, was it 1999 when they switched divisions?
Somewhere in there.
The Seahawks.
That's right.
Were in the AFC West.
They were in the AFC West.
Yeah, with old Dave Craig running the ship up there.
I don't know. What's the best rivalry in football? NFL football?
You know what?
Is it Packers-Bears?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, I mean, Browns-Bengals.
Cowboys will disagree because of the whole thing with the old Redskins.
Yeah,
that back in the day was pretty huge.
Yeah, it was. Then if you remember in the 90s, whenever they kept switching players, the Cowboys and the 49ers was a big time rivalry.
Yeah, and then Cowboys-Niners was big.
And then when the Packers came on, it was Packers-Cowboys for a little while there, and
I mean,
95, 96.
The entire
97.
NFC East are great rivalries, but I don't know. It's probably Packers-Bears to me, but who knows?
But getting back, don't want to not say it because it did happen over the weekend. Kyle Riley hit number 53, the big dumper. Looks like, I mean, honestly, unless old boy for the Phillies goes on some kind of Schwarber, gets 4 home runs in a game, it looks like Kyle Riley's going to be able to hammer it out. So,
but here's the thing: I'd said 60, right?
Yeah,
home runs.
Yeah, he's got 7.
It's got to get 7 in the next 19 games. That's
going to be tough.
It's
going to be tough. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen.
And you know what? As soon as we'll say, "Oh, he's not going to hit 61," boom, he'll do it.
He'll hit it. Well, let's look over at the NL real quick. Mm-hmm. We've got kind of a little bit different situation. You got the Reds and you got the Giants. They're both 4 games out to the Mets, and the Mets really, they've been, just at 4-6. But the thing is Cincinnati's 4-6, and then you got the Giants. That's where they made their big push, 7-3.
I mean, 2 weeks ago we talked about it, and we thought the Reds were perfectly positioned to make a run, and they have not played very good baseball over the last couple of weeks. I mean, the Mets have left the door open, and the only people who want to come through are the Giants and the D-backs, and we thought the D-backs were too far back. I mean, they're at 500 now, and that's, like you said, it's like 4.5 out for the D-backs. The Giants are 4 out.
So the Mets Phillies are playing right now. Well, I don't want to say right now, but tonight, right?
Yeah.
And if the Braves were any good,
if they could,
we would have been talking about Braves Cubs, today, but they're not.
Now, ironically, the Reds have won 2 straight. Everybody else is on a losing streak. So who knows? But the Reds, before that, were I think 3-7 in their last 10.
Yeah, they were.
So they've struggled, but that one's still wide open. I think the Mets have just a little bit of breathing room there, but they can't let up too much because somebody will get hot.
Yeah,
and the Diamondbacks do it every year. They get hot at the end of the year every year.
Yeah, so it could be. I mean, I think we'll be watching it for sure, but the AL is definitely the one to watch.
And
the
hey,
NL is tight.
Congratulations to the Colorado Rockies. They got to 40 wins.
There you go.
But they got eliminated.
They've been eliminated for weeks.
Yeah, there's only 2 teams that have been eliminated so far.
Them and the White Sox.
You know what? Shout out to though San Diego Padres because I totally did not think they were making the playoffs.
They did good. They're doing good. But when we come back, we're going to dive into the SEC football season. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
Here we go. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson will be awarding the Sports Blitz High School Player of the Week. This will go to the outstanding high school football player for each week. The player will receive a gift card from a local restaurant and an ESPN Northwest Florida t-shirt. Coaches, students, parents, and fans, comment on our Facebook page or call in at 850-215-6290 to nominate.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. Possible thunderstorms and some clouds the remainder of the day with a wind coming out of the east-northeast at 10 miles per hour and 88. Tonight, look for mostly clear skies with a temperature near 74. Tomorrow, high around 86 and some sun throughout the day with a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs with the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Hey, Gator fans, bring your family and friends to Rocket Lanes, home of the Panhandle Gator Club. While you enjoy Gator football watch parties in the sports bar with fellow Gators, your family and friends can enjoy bowling, roller skating, and the many entertaining electronic games. All Gator fans are also welcome to attend the Panhandle Gator Club meetings, 6 p.m. every second Tuesday of the month at the same location. Follow Gator gatherings all year long at panhandlegatorclub.com. Go Gators!
WGSX Lynn Haven WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thursday night football is back.
To the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass.
It's the Washington Commanders at the Green Bay Packers. We'll have coverage starting Thursday at 6:30 from Lambeau Field. Kickoff at 7:15 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast.
Packers on the board again.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the CBC Construction Studios. If you have a problem with our hot takes, call us and say it to our face.
10 years from now, I'll be making a difference in this world while you'll be sitting there getting your diaper changed by your nurse.
The Sports Blitz is on the air. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That's right. You made it to 5 o'clock on this Monday. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've decided to be right here with us, whether you're listening to us on your way home to go get dinner, or maybe the wife's making you something for dinner, or maybe your husband's making you something for dinner. Who knows? But thanks for listening. Also, don't forget, you can call in, you can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. As always, on Monday, we've got the rebelwalk.com. My man, Steve Barnes. Steve Barnes, how you doing today?
Hey, it's a good day when you go look at the SEC standings and see Ole Miss on top.
I can't
there's only
agree.
been one conference game. They won it, so they have to be on top, so it's going to be short-lived. But I did notice this about conference standings around the country. There are only two conferences that have 0 teams that have not won a game. Big 12 and SEC.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, the Big Ten's got 14 teams that are 2-0. The SEC has 12, but I'd rather be 12-0 than 14-1.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what did you think about the game? Because I got some questions for you. This Ole Miss versus Kentucky game, it was definitely one of those games that I thought that Ole Miss, let me just preface it this way, Steve. I thought that because of last year's result, I thought that because of what happened last year at Ole Miss, I was thinking, you know what, this is going to be a different ball game. This is going to be different. And, I just turning it on, watching it. I was excited about it. I was like, yep, Lane's going to go out there and they're going to hang about 40 or 50 on Kentucky. And you're going to start hearing the chirps from the faithful of Lexington telling Stoops to go find another job. But it wasn't that way. What did you think about it, Steve?
Well, first, I think Stoops going to retire after this year. I don't think they're going to fire him. But, I mean, Ole Miss Kentucky's weird. It's when I was in school, and a few years after that, it was Ole Miss Vanderbilt, believe it or not. We beat the you-know-what out of somebody, then go to Nashville, or they'd come to Oxford, and it'd be a 2-point game. It's like, how did that happen? But now it seems like it's Ole Miss Kentucky. My big two takeaways, both from the quarterback position. Austin Simmons has got to learn the phrase, incomplete passes are a win sometimes.
Yep.
So when you have a bad shotgun snap, pick it up, and if your first read's not there, throw it to Kiffin.
Yeah.
Instead, he's just like, well, that's what I'm throwing there. and, that's a pick. And the second one, if you're getting hit in the chest, if you can't throw it away, eat the ball. You don't have to throw it. And it's odd to me. He's got 4 interceptions this year. All 4 have come in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So, once he settles in, and the other thing I really liked was he had tweaked his ankle, and he told Kiffin, he's like, yeah, I'm ready to go back in. And he says, no. Don't worry about it. We got it because we're in the 4-minute drill trying to run out the clock. And they brought in a backup quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss. It's kind of a luxury to bring in a guy who won the Division II National Championship last year.
Yeah.
Came in 3rd in the Harlan Hill Trophy. That's the Heisman for D2. That's kind of a good luxury to have because he's been in pressure. He knows, and he ran that 4-minute offense well. So that's a good luxury to have.
And that's what I wanted to go to because I'll be honest with you. I watched the whole game, and, I'll give it to – I don't like to have my guest on here and bash their quarterbacks, even though my quarterback from Alabama looked like absolute trash the first game.
Oh, if Simmons deserves it, do it. If I do it.
Yeah. But he looked bad. He looked confused. He didn't look like who I was thinking he was going to look like, because we have talked so much about him. And I was just very surprised at how, some of the things like exactly what you were saying just didn't resonate in him being able to do the things that Lane needed him to do when he would, have a little bit of chaos going on in the backfield because Kentucky's, Stoops is a defensive guy. He's going to have athletes. He's going to call up pressure. He's going to blitz from time to time that way to kind of keep you off balance. But when you look at some of the things like you're talking about that he didn't do right, it kind of worried me. And then I took it more of a slap, not necessarily that. I thought Trinidad looked great, actually. When I was watching him, I told my wife, I actually was like, this guy right here, they're probably going to have some packages because this guy looked really good. Yeah. I mean, he really looked good. And you could tell by the way that they were running that RPO that Stoops' defense didn't have not an answer for that, especially when they started when that offensive line started really getting some momentum and started grooving there in the last 4 minutes. That was when it kind of took the air out. You could tell, you could kind of see that Kentucky was on their heels big time because Trinidad, like you said, he looked really good. And I don't know how good he can throw. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. But he definitely he carved himself out an opportunity that, like, if there's ever a chance to have some goal line stuff or even some, where they need to use some clock up, he's not a bad option.
Well, the thing about Simmons was, I think he was rattled the first quarter. There's no doubt he was. Not sure why. Kevin said something about first road start. I'm not sure that's it. But the thing that got me is the second quarter, 4th and 1 in your own territory.
Yes.
Run the play action and let him throw it down the sideline, and it's good for 55 yards. That told that kid, Kiffin has faith in me, and he settled down from there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, and that's where, because I saw exactly what you're talking about when he came to him. He was like, hey, Coach, I'm ready. But he was limping. I don't know how good he would have been able to run the offense. I mean, but when Kejuan Lacey's running the football like he was, though, he was running really good. And I like the fact that, he's low of stature. I mean, he's still 5'10", but still, one person wasn't taking him down that day, for sure.
A friend of mine from the Associated Press Sunday sent me a text message with simply 2 words: Quinshon who? And you guys, this kid transferred from Missouri, and this is something I really love that Golding said. He had recruited him, and he went to Alabama, and when the kid called him and said, I'm going to go to Missouri, he expected to get reamed out because other coaches just reamed him out. He goes, hey, man, look, good luck there. I think you're going to have success. But if you're not happy, you have my number. And he says, I do that with all those kids. And he did it with Trey Amos, who he got for his senior year, and now he's playing for the Washington Commanders. I think coaches make a mistake with these kids. You get in their brain as this guy's going to, rip me for anything I do wrong. No. Golding, Kiffin, Charlie Weiss Jr., they're going to rip you. but not for any little thing, and they're not going to hold a grudge.
Yeah.
And that's the difference of college football.
That's attractive.
Yeah, and college football
to a 19-year-old kid.
It's different now too. It's totally different, and we've talked about this. What Kirby said. You got to pay them, and you got to be different. You got to love on them a little more. You can't be so dogmatic towards them, and you got to be able to try to get them to be able to be coached. Because when you coach, sometimes you're being boisterous to them, but they've got to understand it's kind of like having to read your wife. You got to learn their love language. You got to know how to coddle, and you got to know when to pick a fight and when not to. So really this NIL, this whole thing about it, it's a difference in coaching now.
Maybe that's why I've never been married. I can't pay a woman.
That's right. But I mean, I just, the other part of it, Steve, for me is that, Calzada, I can't remember how you pronounce his name. All I know is he beat us a long time ago, and I don't like talking about him, but I'm going to. But when he got hurt, and it was just a throwing injury, it wasn't anything that anybody did. He looked like that shoulder doesn't look good, and they brought in the other guy. Thankfully for Ole Miss, because I'll be honest with you, the defense, it looked confused at times. It looked like they didn't know what coverage they were in at times. It just seemed like they were kind of confused, and I don't know what really was going on, but moving forward, they're going to definitely have to make some adjustments because it didn't look very good on Saturday.
Especially this week because Arkansas is coming in, and Calzada is no Trey Lance from Arkansas. This kid at Arkansas is good. But I think Calzada, he is on a very, very short leash right now. The kid they brought in, he's from Lexington Christian High School.
Yep.
He's a fan favorite.
LCA.
So, I mean, as soon as Calzada throws a bad interception, that might be it for him.
Yeah. Yeah, because the other kid didn't look bad, but man, there was a couple. Yeah, he is a freshman, and there was a couple of throws that he just missed them because they were open. And hopefully with Ole Miss going forward, they'll have to get that taken care of. Do you think moving forward, because who do they have next week?
Arkansas,
and then Tulane, and then LSU.
Right. Yeah. Right.
And then a Washington State team who actually played pretty well against San Diego State this last weekend. Yeah. So that's the 4 games that they need to get through to get to the tough part, where the real schedule starts with Georgia and Oklahoma.
I discovered something really cool about Washington State today, too. Mateer at Oklahoma, transfer from Washington State. And right now, he's the best player in the country, in my opinion. I mean, the kids bought into it there. I liked what he said after the game about it was the crowd, it was the offensive line, it wasn't me. And people gravitate to that. But if Mateer actually goes to New York City for the Heisman Award ceremony this year, it will be the second year in a row a quarterback who transferred from Washington State will be in New York for the Heisman.
Wow.
That's right, Cam Ward.
There's either something in the water in Pullman, or there's something kids don't like.
Well, and the thing is that what was cool about what they did is they brought him and his offensive coordinator from Washington State, which is crazy that you bring up, you can't say that wasn't a package deal because it had to be, and he knows what he's expected. And I'm with you, Steve. I think this guy has really, put himself out there with some of the throws, with the way he runs the football well, but there was a few throws that he made on Saturday that were just dynamic.
Well, the quarterback and the coach go into a new place at the same time. It's not new. Lincoln Riley took Caleb with him.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I mean, kids just – it used to be, a saying that you choose a school, you don't choose a coach because you don't know that coach is going to be there, and you're stuck. Well, now the kid's not stuck.
Yeah.
So now I think the kids are looking for a system.
Yeah.
And Lane Kiffin today in his presser, he just said, every time I recruit a kid, there's one question that's never asked anymore. What's your graduation rate?
It's true. It's true.
Because the parents know that, this kid's not going to be there 4 years. He's going to get there until there's something better out there.
Yep.
And that breaks my heart about college football.
Yeah, and that's the big thing because that used to be one of the sticking points. And, I know over the last Friday they talked about that they closed the loophole or that they're going to vote on it for changing the portal and doing all of that. Did you get a chance to look at some of that, Steve, as far as?
Oh, there's just going to be one portal window, and that's the way it should be because Kiffin last year said he just put out a scenario that a kid can come out of high school and sign with a school and an NIL deal, so he's getting money. Not be that good, so they say, we're going to redshirt you. Okay, no problem. Then he goes through spring ball. Everybody gets mad. He says, well, I don't want to be redshirted. I'm going somewhere else. And then he gets another NIL deal, and he goes through spring ball. Well, he don't like it there.
Yeah.
So he transfers to the next team, and he gets an NIL. So he's gotten 3 NILs, and he hasn't played a down of football.
That's right.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Here's the problem, though. What's going to happen if they started off, I think, January 10th? Yeah, January 10th. You're in the middle of the playoffs, and there's going to be a few teams that their quarterback goes down, and their second or third string, or both, just transferred out. Oh, they're just messed over for the playoffs.
Well, it needs to be like the old signing day was in February.
That's right.
Let's go back to that. Make signing day and the portal the same time.
Yeah, I always thought the portal should open 2 days after the national championship game, be open for 6 weeks, and that's it. Done. That's it. It's over.
6 weeks is a little long.
No, not for these kids because they're going and visiting and all like that. Give them 6 weeks because you only have one, and that's it.
That's something else. Kiffin said in the summertime I loved. Said this guy walked up and said, hey, Coach, how's the team going to be this year? He was, I don't know who's on it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that.
Well, and look, the argument used to be, well, we need to get it done earlier because they have to get in and enrolled for, winter session and winter semester and all these classes and all like that, as if anybody cares anymore.
Right.
I mean, I hate that. It gets to what you were saying, Steve. I hate it about college sports, but it's true.
Well, if they're not enrolled, that just means they can't go through spring ball. They can still enroll and go through the summer and fall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think it's that bad if they miss spring because spring's different now. So, you don't have spring games anymore.
That's right.
You know, I mean, Ole Miss had the spring little carnival thing with Joey Chestnut and stuff. That was fun. But they said, we're not even going to do that because somebody's going to get hurt.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. And everybody's jumping on the board. Steve, real quick, I know we don't have but a couple more minutes left. Do you want to love on Brian a little bit with his Mississippi State victory over the weekend? I mean, it was a great win. We've had people talk about, we don't want to hear nothing about Mississippi State. But for Brian's sake, how did you feel about that Mississippi State win?
Mississippi State played this week? No, I'm kidding. I tell you what, my SEC wrap is not posted yet. But last week, what I did with my SEC wrap, I had a word of the day for each team. And some station out of Memphis picked it up and broadcast it. And so my boss said, you got to do something different. And so what I did was a movie quote for each game. And my Mississippi State quote, and Brian's going to love this, was from Animal House.
Mm-hmm.
Over, nothing's over until we say it's over. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? No, and it ain't over now.
That's right.
That was my quote for State.
I love it.
Hey, Steve, quick, just one thing. My daughter goes to Ole Miss, by the way. And
hi, Gotti.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I went to a Tulsa game one time. And I did the Grove and did the whole daytime, for Ole Miss game. And it didn't impress me. It fell flat, felt really bad and everything. And that's basically how Tulane's going to be 2 weeks from now because it's a day game, like a 2 o'clock kickoff, and it's out of conference, where compared to like Arkansas, it's 6 o'clock kickoff, and it being an SEC game at night, it's like two worlds. The Arkansas game is going to be so electric. They do more things in the stadium and everything. And a day game and that heat of that sun and the way the Vaught Hemingway is like wide open. I mean, the sun just beats people up. They just want to leave at halftime.
Well, pre-game, I will agree with you. A day game, you only have a couple hours in the Grove. No, you want several hours. It's kind of like tailgating at LSU. You don't want an 11 o'clock start. You want a 6 o'clock start.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, Keith Carter in the offseason, the AD at Ole Miss, somebody asked him, what's your biggest, problem, right now? He says, it's keeping the fans in the stands during a day game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're going to, against a Georgia State team that was outclassed and you're up by how many points at halftime, everybody's going to leave.
Yeah, and that's the big problem.
That's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah. I think we were leading, well, I'll say we, but Ole Miss was leading Tulsa by like 9 at halftime, and Tulsa scored first and second half, but half the stadium wasn't there to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's easier to go out in the Grove, get in a tent, where you have the TVs anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
The only thing I can equate this to was the last time I had a chance to see a Jimmy Buffett concert was in Pensacola. And I think I saw him at least 19 times. And this was going to be in the Civic Center. And I found out late, and the tickets that I got were, up in the balcony. And if you've never been to the Civic Center here, or it's called the Bay Center now, excuse me, the acoustics are not very good.
Right.
So what I did with my friend was we went to the parking lot, and we tailgated all day. And then when everybody went into the concert, we went to McGuire's and had a steak, then went home.
Yeah.
Well, I can't blame you for that.
Sometimes the tailgate's better than the game.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's what Jeff has always kind of said that. We've had this conversation before, but he's also comparing it to the slobber knocker drunken parties that they do at LSU.
Well, okay. So let's be honest. My dad grew up in Calhoun County, Mississippi.
That's right.
And, that's Baptist territory, big time. So there's a lot less drinking compared to LSU. And then what's the other thing? Well, I mean, Cajun's a little crazy. Well, let's be honest. I'm half Cajun, so, that's the other half. But they cater the food there at Ole Miss in the Grove. A lot of it's catered. They brought it in and everything.
Yeah.
And that was unimpressive to me because LSU's like grilling out.
You get beat up at LSU if you cater it.
Yeah. They're like judging you like, you got that from Winn-Dixie? Come on.
No, they don't do it from Winn-Dixie. They do it from a 5-star, and they have the chandeliers on. And
they cook it themselves out there.
That too.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the thing about the Grove and Ole Miss is, I mean, you could walk out there in your LSU stuff, and somebody's going to say, hey, come in my tent, have something to eat, have a beer.
They did do that for me, and I was wearing purple.
Yeah, Steve, well, we sure do appreciate it. Don't forget to stop by and look at the rebelwalk.com. Give Steve some love over there. Steve, we will talk to you next week.
Got to slip in one little thing.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
A sneaky good game this week, and it's not SEC. Memphis goes to Troy.
Okay.
Troy had Clemson on the ropes last week. Clemson has, Memphis has Arkansas the next week, and if they can get by that one, then they're in good shape.
Wow.
But what's going to happen is in November, Memphis and USF play.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
And the winner of that one either is going to play Tulane in the conference championship, or I'll have to play each other again in the national championship. One of those three teams are going to be the Group of 5 team.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's probably it. Well, Steve, thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week. Steve Barnes from the rebelwalk.com. We will be coming back, and when we come back, we got the guys in the house from PCB Hobby. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Text him now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
Come on. So you got the egg juice in there mixed in with the ketchup.
Yeah, no.
That's pretty
ketchup
good.
and eggs? No, I'm
So
not
what?
about
Not
that.
the eggs, but the juice.
I mean, there's one worse thing you can do with ketchup, and that's put it on steak.
There's one thing I learned is ketchup is like white people spice.
We got to move on.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Monday. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low of 74 with a moderate breeze around 13 miles per hour coming out of the east-northeast. Tomorrow morning, some sun with temps around 82. In the afternoon and evening, a possibility of thunderstorms and partly cloudy, and a temperature near 85. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 86 and partly sunny. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Take your next adventure at an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover the new Kia. We invite you to stop by Bill Bird Kia and test drive the new 2025 Kia. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. The 2025 Kia SUV family has movement that inspires. Drive away today in a new 2025 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. Fuel the thrill and command the road in the luxury of a 2025 Kia K5 sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Performance, power, and design built for you. Spark inspiration in the all-electric 2025 EV9. It's a modern masterpiece, fast charging, rugged, and roomy. Bill Bird Kia is the original home for the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer is Bill Bird Kia.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida. 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
The 2025 Atlanta Braves always find the will to battle back, and they're looking to close the year out strong.
There it comes, and there it goes. Deep left field, to the wall, out of room, out of the ballpark.
Tonight, it's another big National League battle in Atlanta as the Braves get another series against the Chicago Cubs, this time live from Truist Park.
Braves pregame 6 o'clock, first pitch 6:15. Your home for the Braves on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Transmitting from the CBC Construction Studio. This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can call in. You can text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290 every Monday at around this time. We got the captain in the building, and I guess we've got his mate here, Todd, Bill. How are you guys doing? PCB Hobby in the house. How y'all doing this week?
Happy Monday. What's going on, everybody? What's up? All right, we are rocking and rolling. Bill and I are here today. We decided to come as a duo to tell you guys all the different stuff that's going on. First thing I know that's going on is this weekend is Super Saturday.
That's correct. Oh, man.
Super Saturday at the shop. So that means fun, games, prizes, all the above, discounts.
Spin that wheel.
I know you guys like that. If you've been watching any football lately, you've probably seen our commercials.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let me stop you real quick. So we're sitting there watching football. My wife, she's doing the wife stuff. She's walking around or whatever. And I'm like, oh, come here. And she's like running. She thought something was going to happen. I'm like, I've rewound it. And I'm like, look, there's Todd. He's on the TV. And she was like, man, I didn't saw him all day long. He's been on there all day. I was like, oh, my bad. Well, that's the first time I saw him. So there you go. So, yeah, good to see you on some TV there.
New commercials running.
You won't miss a college football game or an NFL game where you won't see us on it. So,
that's right.
Man, that's good.
That is right. So Bill and I have revamped the commercials, and we're rocking and rolling now. So
love it.
Anyways, we got a lot going on. I'm sure there's a lot of products coming out. We'll talk about that in a second. But we have, of course, our eBay live stream going crazy. We just had Marat Michaels as a streamer come down. He's an artist, so that was cool. He created a company called Counterpoint Comics, and he does the Do You Poo books. So if you're a comic book person, you probably have heard of a Do You Poo book. So that was kind of cool just to have him for the very first time. And then this weekend we have coming up, we have something super crazy special. Remember, Frank Miller came down. and we had all kinds of books signed by him and did all kinds of cool stuff. Well, we are doing a special eBay show, not with Frank, so don't get excited. Frank's not in the building. But we have some of the inventory that we had signed and some of the sketches and some of the things done that we are going to be providing in a blind bag format. What that means is you purchase the bag and we open it live on stream and show you what you got.
Nice.
Yeah, so almost like opening sports cards.
Yeah.
So we've been curating for the last 2 months some really unique pieces. And so we've reached out to the art community that is in the comics with us and people that we know, some of the really, I would say, really high-end artists that are out there right now. So Tyler Kirkham, Sajad Shah, Ryan Kincaid. We reached out to a bunch of these folks and said, hey, we'd like you to take. So one of the things we did when Frank was here is they have things in comics called blank sketch covers, and basically it just has a title on it, and it's for artists to draw and kind of give their own rendition of what they think that cover or characters would look like. But it gives an opportunity for comic book collectors to collect things that are art, true art, drawings, hand-drawn stuff, not printed, hand-drawn. And so we had Frank sign a bunch of sketch covers, different titles of things that were really in his wheelhouse that he's known for the last 30, 40 years. And so we sent these out to 15, 16 of them out to different artists, and we had them do homage covers, which are things that are like when you think of Frank Miller and this title, draw something that represents Frank to you. And so they all did unique pieces, and so these are one of one art pieces that are basically in these bags. And then on top of that, while Frank was here, we asked Frank to do a couple sketch covers too. To get a sketch cover from Frank Miller is a big deal. He doesn't go to a lot of events, he doesn't get out a lot. And so, and if you're not familiar with Frank Miller, he is Batman. Batman Returns is Frank Miller. It wouldn't be a movie. Christian Bale would never have a career without Frank Miller, basically, on that.
300, Sin City.
Yeah. These are all things that he produced, wrote. He was involved in the movies of all these things. So, really big deal. So Frank came down in July, signed about 1,000 items, 4,000 different books and covers. And that's what Todd's talking. We're going to put those into these blind bags. And on Friday night, Saturday night, on our eBay live streams, we're going to have these that people can get mystery packs. You don't even know what you're going to get until you open it up. So it's going to be super exciting.
It's going to be amazing, and we can't wait. And then furthermore, something even just as exciting is going on this weekend. On Thursday, we are headed up to Atlanta, and we are going to Atlanta Collecticon. And here's what's exciting about it. We have partnered with eBay at Atlanta Collecticon, and we are literally going to be sharing the booth with eBay.
Wow.
Like the eBay from San Francisco, like the eBay. And we're going to have their banners. We're going to be doing live streams. We're going to have other vendors doing live streams at the booth with us. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. And we're right up front. So if you go to Atlanta Collecticon this weekend, you will see us because we're right at the front door.
Yeah, we'll be in a premium spot. So the people that are our neighbors that we're rubbing elbows with, going to be Heritage Auctions, PSA. These are all folks that are
the big boys.
The big boys, right. So we are definitely, this is huge for us. So we're super excited. We're going to have tons of inventory there, and we're going to do all kinds of awesome craziness. And we're even going to be streaming too. So that'll be fun.
And we're double dipping this weekend because not only is the Collecticon there for the TCG crowd, and hopefully we'll get some comic sales off this too, but also at the same time in Atlanta this weekend is Culture Collision. And it is a huge sports car show. It's a sports memorabilia show. And so it's in Gwinnett County. It's just north of outside the city. But we're going to have folks that are going to go to that and pick up stuff for the shop and things to bring back. So we will have some brand new inventory next week straight from Atlanta. So
And speaking of, Dallas was this last weekend, Dallas Card Show. And the boys went up there as well and brought back a slew of inventory. Josh is categorizing a lot of the sports card inventory right now, and tomorrow Ethan will get a lot of the Pokemon inventory together. So again, if you check out our streams at PCB Hobby on eBay Live, you'll see one of our streams going. We always have 4 streams pretty much going all the time. And for TCGs, comic books, coins and currency, and sports cards. And you will see a lot of this new inventory. Plus, if you visit the shop, a lot of times you'll see a lot of the new inventory that comes over the counter. By the way, silver and gold has gone through the roof. And so that's a big topic right now as well. And so we've had a lot of brisk sales in the office at the retail store as well. So come visit us then. Now, with that having been said, I'm sure Brian can tell us what new products are coming out.
Well, like you stole my thunder on the Dallas thing, because Josh is very much categorizing everything, and I am looking forward to taking a good portion of it over to the shop, whether he likes it or not. So, yeah, we will have some new singles inventory this week. But beyond that, the release schedule is really starting to heat up. So this week, you're looking at Topps Tier 1 baseball, which is always a great product.
Can't wait.
There is a really special bat knob product in there that if you were a fan of baseball card collecting in 1989,
yeah,
Bill Ripken, ring a bell?
Are you serious?
That knob
it's out there.
is out there as a one-of-one.
What?
It's crazy cool. So Topps Tier 1 is out there this week. Topps Inception Basketball this week. FIFA World Cup Soccer is out this week. They finally got ahead of the game, which is going to be great. The World Cup's going to be in the States here next summer. So that's good that they actually got ahead of the game and lead up for anticipation of that. Obsidian Basketball is this week. Topps Marvel Comic Book Heroes 1975 anniversary. It's kind of another Marvel product. It's coming soon. Also coming soon, I think next week, Donruss football for 2025. You know what that means? Downtowns.
Downtowns. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's so many big things coming over the next couple of weeks. Bowman Chrome Megas, or Bowman Chrome Hobby is coming. We love Bowman here. So, a ton of great wax coming out just in time for Super Saturday. Ton of new singles coming out from Dallas, and then next week from Atlanta. I will once again pilfer from Josh. Thank you, Josh, for buying it, but it's mine.
I think part of this, too, we gauge the events that we go to, because we get to go nationally to all these different shows, and we get to go all over the country and see stuff, and we get to see really kind of like, instead of just being at the local shop where everything is like based on customer traffic in and out, what people are buying, what they're not, we get to see what the pulse is in the collecting community at all these different events. And the report that came back from Dallas, it was like going to the Nationals. The foot traffic, they said, was incredible. So if anybody thinks that sports cars right now is cooling off or TCGs is cooling off, it's not.
And it's branching. So WWE's been one of the hottest properties out there over the last year. We've actually got some WWE stuff back in the shop finally, and there's more coming. Guess what just came out last week? Topps Chrome Boxing. And it's been crazy popular.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's neat, too. We already, branched into tennis. Soccer has been growing great. Marvel is through the roof. They've nailed this is the best Star Wars Chrome they've done in 10 years. So there's a lot of really cool stuff they're branching into that, you've still got all the great baseball releases. Look, we're only a few months away from Topps taking the basketball license in November, and then they get football in April. So if you're just a big three, you're happy, but we've got so many top quality products now. They make pickleball cards, for crying out loud, and they're popular as all get out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool different stuff that you can go into if you're not the biggest of the big three fans, but you love WWE or you love boxing or you love soccer, you love hockey. There's so many cool products out right now that you can get into, and a lot of those have great value. Formula One and NASCAR. I mean, it's crazy what's
And all
out
you
there
got to
now.
do is come visit the store. We have tons of this product in stock. So, again, if anybody needs to know or you're listening for the first time, we're at 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway, and our number is 850-320-8388. Give us a call or come by. And a lot of the tourists and a lot of the people from out of town are now out of town. So you can get to us. It's not as busy traffic-wise. And so all you people that have been waiting for this, come on down, see our new inventory, see what we have in stock, and let's do some deals. And remember, we're always buying. Always buying.
Oh, yeah.
And see, that's one of the things that I think, even our listeners, because, it's growing and there's more listeners and there's some people that they don't know who you are yet, but then they hear about it. Your staff is willing to sit there and work and walk them through all of this
100%.
stuff. You know what I mean? Because we went over there, my son went over there. We don't know a lot about it. We know the old school stuff, but not a lot of the new stuff. So some of this might sound, a little foreign to you. Maybe you're listening and you're wanting to take your son or your daughter, or, you just want to go over there by yourself. The staff at PCB Hobby, they will walk you through. They'll take their time. They'll sit there with you. They'll tell you what's valuable. They'll tell you if you hit something big, they definitely will talk to you about possibly buying. Right. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
This weekend is a great example. Like this weekend, if you're thinking about looking for something to do with the kids this weekend, Super Saturday is the event to come to because our staff is so great with the kids. They're so great with the families. And if you're new to collecting, they really want to help walk you through that process and show you and teach you stuff. And they know they're very knowledgeable when it comes to these things. And so they will sit down and take that extra time. It doesn't matter how busy we are. We always take time for the customers to make sure that everybody understands what they're getting, what they, and sit there. And you want to come in and rip packs, you don't have to take stuff home. You can come into the shop. We have tables, chairs. We can seat about 70 people in the shop at any given time. And so you can come bring the kids in, grab a table, sit down, buy some product, open up some packs together, and have a good time. So,
and ball games will be on the TV.
And the ball games are always on the TV.
Yeah, so there you go. So, you can grab both of them. I mean, and then whenever you are opening a pack, I don't care if you're 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, 50, 60, 80, 40, whatever, the excitement of wondering what you're about to get, to me, that's really where it's at. It's way better than anything, that's cost you a lot more money to do, like gambling
I used to be known, Bill and I both used to be known to open and crack packs. And, it's been a tough road having our own company now and sitting there and not wanting to open everything.
You just want to open all the time.
On the words from Easy, don't get high on your own supply.
Oh, man. With that, we are going to have to take our next break. We are so thankful for Todd. We're so thankful for Bill, for you guys being here. And one more time, tell us where you can find you online and at the actual address.
Okay, so again, if you're searching out our auctions or any of our social media, we're at PCB Hobby. PCB is in Panama City Beach, Hobby. At PCB Hobby on eBay, on any of the socials. You can reach us. You can send us messages. We monitor that stuff all the time. And, of course, you can come to our retail store. It's 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway. It's next to Florida Linens on Back Beach. So phone number 850-320-8388.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here, and I'm sure Super Saturday is going to be an awesome event. So hopefully we'll get to see you there. When we come back, we're going to discuss all of this that's been going on with the NFL. You're listening to the Sports Blitz here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida. Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida this Monday. For tonight, mostly clear skies and a low of 74 with a moderate breeze around 13 miles per hour coming out of the east-northeast. Tomorrow morning, some sun with temps around 82. In the afternoon and evening, a possibility of thunderstorms and partly cloudy and a temperature near 85. Moving into Wednesday, about the same with a high of 86 and partly sunny. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Thursday night football is back.
To the end zone. He's got a touchdown pass.
It's the Washington Commanders at the Green Bay Packers. We'll have coverage starting Thursday at 6:30 from Lambeau Field. Kickoff at 7:15 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast.
Packers on the board again.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
If you build it, they will come. We're live from the CBC Construction Studios. Marquee matchups, huge rivalries, and fan favorites. The college football headquarters on the Gulf Coast is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget you can call in. You can text in 850-215-6290, the Red 7T's phone line. Don't forget, the reason why we're able to do this is for the sponsors. AutoNation Ford in Panama City. If you need a vehicle, whether it be new or used, or if you need your vehicle serviced, go check those guys out over there at AutoNation Ford in Panama City. They'll take great care of you. Now, if you have any trouble with your paint on your vehicle, if you have a handle, a mirror, a tail light, anything wrong with your vehicle that needs some work, go check those guys out at Recommended Collision Center. They will take care of you. If you mention the show, they will give you a discount. See Brandon and the guys over there. They'll take good care of you. Recommended Collision Center right there off of Jinx Avenue. It's great. Guys, here we go. If you look at what is going on in the NFL, I got quick questions, quick answers from you guys. The Chiefs lost to the Chargers last Friday night. Is this finally the time that the Chiefs are starting to decline? I know Taylor's on board, but are we starting to see a little bit of a crack in the armor of Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, or Travis Kelce? Brian Haddad, what do you think?
It's way too early. It's a different team. Worthy going down doesn't help. They'll make some moves in the middle of the season that strengthen that team, but as long as that core is still together, they're going to be in play. So they're still going to make playoffs. I don't think they're going to have home field advantage this year, though. It is a bit of a different team, but no, the sky's not falling.
What do you think, Jeff? Come on.
Well, the irony is, yeah, they're in a decline because they went 15-2 last year, went to the Super Bowl. Anything that's not that or up, which is there ain't much to really go up, is a decline.
Right.
Do they go 12-5 this year? They've done it before. They did it probably a year before or a year before that. I remember it was rather recently they had one year where they slipped down to like 12-5. And they were, a 3 seed or whatever, and they still went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sure, they're in decline, but are they missing the playoffs? Heck, no. They're still going to the playoffs. And that division stack, you know how it is.
Yeah, it's good over there. So the other question is the flip side of that. Has Jim Harbaugh finally found his quarterback? Is Justin Herbert a flash in the pan from the other night, or is Herbert finally going to take the next step? Is he going to be a top 5, top 7 quarterback in the NFL this year like he looked the other day? Now, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think? Justin Herbert, is he the guy? Is the Chargers going to be good because they got the rookie, Mario Hampton? He's running the football. They got Quentin Johnston, who's definitely looking like a wide receiver number 1. They're going to run the football. Harbaugh's going to do, the same kind of stuff that he did at San Francisco and even at Michigan. So what do you think? Do you think the Chargers are for real this year?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I said they're going to go to the playoffs. And I think I said a couple of weeks ago Justin Herbert's like number 10. Quarterback.
Yeah, that's what you said about
10 or 11. It was somewhere right up in that range.
Yeah.
Is he top 5? No, he's not top 5.
Not yet, right?
Herbert's fine. Look, his problem's never been week 1. It's been week 18.
That's right.
When they get into the playoffs, they're
lost
not.
to Jacksonville
That's right.
that one year.
They're not very good in the first round. So, I mean, Herbert's fine. I do think their team is much better balanced across the board, certainly running and passing, but also their defense a little bit better. So Harbaugh's done a good job of putting together this roster. And look, he's given Johnston time. He was terrible his rookie year. He got better last year. He looks a lot better this year. Najee Harris should be a good person in there to spell Hampton as a rookie. I mean, they've got some pieces there. They've got some good role players. I wish they were a little bit better at tight end, but no, they're going to be a good football team. They're probably going to make the playoffs as well. But the key is, what does Herbert do in the playoffs?
Yeah, that's going to be the big key.
Those two teams, the Chiefs and the Chargers, are more predictable than Broncos and Raiders.
Yeah, true. That's true. Now let's move to the game that happened last night. Everybody's been talking about it. The Bills versus the Ravens. Most people went to sleep because of how late the game was. Thought the Ravens had won it, had thought it was over. But when they woke up this morning to the realization that you just can't count out Josh Allen with the football, 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go, comes back and leads them down the field, scores the touchdown, and comes back and wins the game. Now, are we looking at the new guys in that division? Are they going to be the ones that everybody's going to try to catch up to? Are they going to be the ones that everybody's going to be talking about? Because if you watch those two teams play, it looked totally different than everybody else on Sunday. They were at a different level than all of them. I mean, you had the running game, the passing game, and the defense. That was where it was a little iffy, but the offenses were great.
I mean, the thing is both of these teams have been at that level through the regular season for the last couple of years. It's both of them have run into the Chiefs.
That's right.
They just can't clear that hurdle. And, maybe this is the year. I don't think they're any markedly different, better, whatever. I think they're just as good as they have been. Now, I think the Bills have a heck of an advantage this year in that I never thought I'd say this over the AFC South. I think the Bills are in the easiest division in football. I think the AFC East is the weakest division in football. The Patriots are still a couple of years away. The Dolphins are awful.
Well, they gave the game away.
And the Jets still don't know how to win games at the end. So I think the Bills actually have an advantage in the fact that they don't have to be great every week, and they're going to coast into the playoffs through that division. Now, if I'm Buffalo, I want home field advantage. But I think both of these teams are just as, and don't write off Baltimore yet. That's a good football team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you look at it, the way that they play, their style of play is going to be set up with Derrick Henry running the football, and last night he did. So, I mean, that's the big key.
I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but could the Bills and Ravens have been 1-2 and the Packers number 3? Those are the 3 best teams playing yesterday?
Yeah.
If you're asking me based on week 1, I thought the Packers probably played the best total football of anybody. I don't think they're the best overall team, but I thought they played the best week 1 of anybody all around. Well, and look, I don't think the Lions were on their game. I just thought the Packers looked more complete to me than anything. Now, the worst is the Dolphins. The Dolphins look
they look
clueless.
terrible. They look really
look
bad.
Clueless.
Yeah, and that's hurtful too because you like them. I like them. My son likes them.
I really would love them to be good. They're just not very.
And
good.
you know what? I don't want to say they're playing up because the whole Irsay thing was going on, but the Colts, were playing up because of the Irsay.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
I get it.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the other thing. We talk about fit when we talk about quarterbacks. And, Daniel Jones was not Brian Daboll's guy. He wasn't his pick. They had conflict when he come into the building. Mm-hmm. So, maybe this is the rebirth of Daniel Jones. If it is, this is a great story. It's going to be great. They scored on every possession. So, that's one of those things, too, that you just got to look at. But let's get into it because we don't have much time. We've got the Vikings and the Bears tonight. Monday Night Football in Chicago, Soldier Field, ready to go. When you look at these two guys, you got J.J. McCarthy and you got Caleb Williams. Both are needing to show something for these fan bases. Kevin McConnell, has he had enough time with J.J. McCarthy? Has he put enough into him to be able to make the plays that he needs to play? Does he have the ability to throw the ball away? The other question is Ben Johnson. Has he had enough time with Caleb Williams? Is he going to be able to throw the ball away? Or is Caleb Williams going to be running around doing his thing and trying to win the ball game on his own? Those are the two questions I think we got going into the season. What do you think for tonight's game? Do you think the Bears are going to be able to do it?
Well, I mean, I did my pick 'em last week.
I know you did, but I'm saying...
And I picked the Bears, and I'm not going to change. Nothing's changed, really.
Yeah, you can still pick them.
And you picked the Vikings.
I did.
I'm not flip-flopping. We're not doing that.
I'm going with...
I mean, he tried to flip me over to Kansas. Tried to flip me to Kansas against Missouri.
I took Kansas.
And I was like beginning to doubt myself. I was like, I could have swore I picked Missouri. And then somebody who was watching... texted me and said, "Oh yeah, you did. I watched the video and all that. So I'm on video.
That's right.
It's good that it was all recorded.
Upon further review.
Let me give you a little background there, Brian.
Right.
So the first week of college football, we did pick him.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him tied for first, right? And then yesterday he slipped a game up on me for college football because of week 2 he's a game up on me in college football.
Don't give us too many stuff. So we got tomorrow's show.
We go to NFL, right? And yesterday, I was killing it. I mean, just killing it. I'm getting so excited. And I got the Ravens, and the Ravens are doing good. And he's got the Bills.
Yeah.
And then, oh, man.
Well, just remember, it ain't about who casts the votes. It's about who counts them.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, I mean, I was doing so well yesterday. I was just really killing it. And then tonight, we're different again. So I got Bears, you got Vikings.
Yeah, so
it's going to be interesting.
What do you think about tonight's game?
It's going to be an interesting game because the Vikings, to me, are the biggest mystery team in the NFL this year. They had a great year, exceeded expectations last year.
They did.
But J.J. McCarthy hadn't taken a meaningful snap of football since the national championship game.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, and they're on the road at Soldier Field. The Bears, look, I'm not buying the Bears are going to be this 13-4 monster team this year, but I do think they're solid and going to be better. They were in every game they played last year. And I thought Caleb Williams honestly did better than expectations last year. Not by a lot, but he did. I think the Bears win tonight. I don't know that either of them make a deep run or even make the playoffs. I'm not real high on the Vikings overall this year, but I think the Bears win tonight. And what's probably a good football game, give me the Bears by 4.
Yeah,
wow.
And see, I think it's going to be one of those games where if they do the things right, and that would be quarterback play, are they going to be able to throw the ball away? Are they going to be able to recognize, be able to come up to the line of scrimmage? Because that's where, realistically, Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy are going to have to learn how to be, to know what they got to change. When they go to that huddle, they got 2 plays usually, and they'll be able to option out of that and go to another play. And if they can do that successfully and run instead of pass or pass instead of run, I think that'll be the key to seeing these guys grow, because they've both come out of systems where they can kind of just, pick and choose what they did, with McCarthy being more of a running team, and then Caleb Williams doing his backyard stuff.
All I know is I don't care what happens as long as DeAndre Swift gets 10 points tonight and I go 1-0 in fantasy.
That's right. We talked about a little bit of fantasy last week, just a little bit, so I know that there's some people that are really diving into it, but I know there's some people that are really upset, and especially A.J. Browns and
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
4 points.
They both did not do very good.
And I have the greatest bench in fantasy football, by the way. I had Javonte Williams. I had Jordan Love on there. I had Jacoby Myers on it. My bench outscored my starters.
Yeah, that's what happens when you got it, because you never know what's going to happen.
Derrick Henry.
You're not kidding. Well, that's it for us. We will be tomorrow talking about Florida, Miami, and Florida State. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very